The idea of building a system using names to identify and organize things is called nomenclature. In chemistry, nomenclature is everywhere because there are just so many things and terms that needs to be named. Without this, chemistry would be difficult to impossible to study. That's why it is important to study it, like the nomenclature of oxyacids. But before we discuss that, it's important to let you know that oxyacids are not the only acids in chemistry, like what people used to believe back then. It was later known that there is another type of acid that is called hydroacids or binary acids. Unlike oxyacids, which have hydrogen and oxygen plus one element, hydroacids only contain hydrogen plus one other element. Before naming oxyacids, we must first be able to recognize them by the general formula HAXVOC. In addition, to make this easier for us, we need to familiarize ourselves to a type of polyatomic ion called oxygen ion. Oxygen ions are just negatively charged molecules that contain at least one oxygen. To begin with the naming of oxyacids, for example, H3PO4. Number 1. Start with the name of the oxygen ion. In our case, PO4, which is a phosphate. Number 2. Alter the suffix according to this rule. If an oxygen ion ends with ate, it will become ik. On the other hand, I will become us. Helpful tip. Us is just an ik with one less oxygen. In our example, we will remove the base, but instead of phos, it is phosphor, because phosphorus and sulfur is a special case on which its base will change accordingly on what suffix is being used. And then just add ik, so phosphate will become phosphoric. Take note of this. There are some cases that acids are distinguished by adding the prefix "-per" or "-hypo" to their names. In such a case, a helpful technique is to memorize the chemical formula of every 8th form of oxygen ion. When oxygen is greater, we will add the prefix "-per". When oxygen is lesser, the ik will become us. And if the oxygen is too lesser, we will add the prefix "-hypo" and suffix "us". 3. And then add the word acid, so we will get phosphoric acid. Let's have HiO3 as another example. The name for IO3 is iodide. So HiO3 is iodic acid. HiO2 has one less oxygen than iodic acid, so it will become iodous acid. HiO has two fewer oxygen atoms than iodic acid, so it is hypoiodous acid. HO4 has more oxygen than iodic acid, then it will become periodic acid. If you are still confused, look at the other examples in the table.